It's like taking 400,000 cars off the road. For tips, visit flexyourpower.org.
For years now, we have followed the spread of the Central Coast gang problem. We've exposed places with a gang presence that you wouldn't expect, such as Pacific Grove and Capitola, and shown how no place in the 831 area code is immune to gang violence. Well, tonight, the latest place where gangsters have expanded their reach in this Fox 35 special report, how the gangs of paradise have launched a net threat. It's what gangs have used for generations to claim territory, to show off, to make threats. These days, the purpose of gang graffiti hasn't changed, but the platform has.
As a parent myself, I don't want my kids on this guy's site looking at, their stuff either.
Does it concern you that it's so readily available?
It does. It does concern me.
As a gang intelligence officer with the Salinas Police Department, Brian McKinley is witnessing a revolution on the flickering screen before him, as more and more gang members make the jump to cyberspace.
I can kill a scrap if you want me to. Rap killer.
In this one in particular, they're playing a norteño gangster rap song. Some of these are followed by pictures. The City of Salinas sign, which is notoriously in the past has been referred to by norteño gang members as being, this is Northern California City. So they mostly have claimed wow.
Gunshots there?
Yeah, you hear the gunshots.
And it's not just pictures, music, and video that are turning up on the likes of MySpace and YouTube.
This is the message board, the comments and responses.
And this is where the challenges are issued?
Yeah.
So are the threats. Sometimes violent, always graphic, potentially dangerous.
They'll put pictures up here, 187 on norteños or 187 on surenos.
So threatening to kill each other.
It's an open challenge. They're saying this is who we are, and they have a general hatred for each other. It says norteños, it says 187, scrap killer, ha ha ha, so he's saying that he's a sureño killer. That right there is an automatic put down, an automatic challenge. That right there on the street, somebody calling a sureño a scrappa would lead to a violent confrontation.
Sometimes a non-gang member will get involved in the verbal sparring session, using the anonymity of the internet to make a point. I think we should put all gangs in a giant arena and arm them with guns so they can blow each other to hell. Someone with the screen name Neil Stite writes on YouTube. This will solve many of Monterey County's problems. It sounds like it can be a pretty useful tool, these websites, to law enforcement.
Well, yeah, because it's very public, because they don't hide it. It's the cyber version of standing out and shouting at each other across the street. Anybody who's standing on the street can hear it. Anybody who happens to be looking on a web page can view it.
Commander Kelly McMillan is in charge of investigations at Salinas PD.
We routinely go through and look at MySpace pages to see who is claiming gang allegiance. So we'll use that to associate gang members under the Street Terrorism Act to confirm their affiliation with a street gang. And we can use that as an enhancement to any criminal crime.
That if they're convicted of, say, an armed robbery, a person who can be proven to be a gang member can have years added on to a typical sentence. So they'll say, no, I'm not a gangster, I'm not claiming anything, and you'll pull up their MySpace page and say,
that's right, we can pull up the MySpace page where it's covered in red, where the gang name is there, and all the other gang members that we know are members of that gang are listed there, and it's his page. That's pretty good evidence.
But it can also be a double-edged sword of sorts. As police officers, both Commander McMillan and Officer McKinley embrace the presence of gangs online.
Children, if they're not being monitored, parents aren't aware of what they're doing. Kids can stumble across this stuff and become involved with it to whatever degree.
Some of these young people that are maybe on the verge of trying to make a decision on whether or not to get involved in gangs, and then they get on the internet and they see stuff like this, and it kind of glorifies the lifestyle. It makes it look cool.
So it can be quite the recruiting tool for
absolutely. I absolutely believe it is. So
they sit at their computers, communicating with their homies, threatening their enemies, and seducing the next generation, with the police watching intently from the other side of the digital divide. It's the latest front in an endless war with no end in sight.
They're moving right along with technology. As you've seen, some of these guys are very, very creative. They have some really creative sites. It's just unfortunate that they're using it to promote the gang lifestyle.
Well, those who say the companies that run YouTube and MySpace are extremely cooperative with them when they're conducting investigations. Now, as for how such inappropriate content is able to find its way onto such sites in the first place, well, a rep for YouTube told us it's up to users to let them know about offensive material that gets by their censors and that it is then immediately removed.
Tempers flared in King